joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Like, for instance, maybe he didn't care the way that the Packers drafted. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing.
Right, exactly. Well done.
Thank you. He's one of our favorite guests. I love watching him play. I just love everything that the way that he goes about his business. He's a Super Bowl champion. He is a future Hall of Famer. He is the quarterback of the 2-0 Green Bay Packers. He's Aaron Rodgers. How are you, Aaron?
I'm doing good, Rich. Thanks for having me back on. It's been a while.
Thank you very much. It has been too long. How's life for you, sir? How's everything? Good? Everything good?
It's different.
It's different.
Yeah, everything's good. It's just strange. It's been a strange 2020.
It has been. What was it like going on the road? I mean, that had to be weird, awkward, even though it was not a very long trip for you, but that had to be something, right?
Yeah, really strange. You know, just to go from last year playing there for the division in Week 16 and just how rocking U.S. Bank can be there in Minneapolis, and then to just have no energy really in the building at all was really strange.
And then obviously Lambeau being empty. That we were showing a shot of empty Lambeau at the top of our broadcast on Sunday morning, and it just looked weird to me. You know, what was it like for you playing in there, Aaron? Had to be something.
Yeah, oh man, probably the weirdest experience of my career, I would say. Here, just this place has been so special, so many memories in Green Bay and Lambeau, and then just so many things that make game day that people who have come and seen me over the years and come to games at Lambeau just marvel at and laugh about, whether it's the tailgating and just how inviting and welcoming our fans are to not only people who are from out of town or other teams' fans. It's always, hey, come grab a brat and a beer and hang out, to just the actual things that happen on game day. Roll out the barrel and the YMCA and the signs that people bring, and it's a throwback kind of city and time, and obviously we're one of the oldest organizations in the league, and there's just some really fun things that kind of make up Lambeau Field game day that I really missed last Sunday.
2-0 Green Bay Packers, though, Aaron Rodgers. So that's something that you've experienced before, and also in terms of experiencing before. I had Kurt Warner on in hour one, and he said that just watching you through the first 2 weeks, you look as comfortable as you've looked in, say, your MVP seasons. That when you're comfortable with the offense and players that you have around you, that you excel to the point where you've been excelling this year. Would you agree with an assessment like that you're comfortable, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that Kurt is off there at all. I think that's a big part of playing quarterback is just feeling your way around everything. And I think this year, second year in the system, the time we spent in the off season on the Zoom meetings, I think simplifying some areas of the offense, adding to other areas that we felt good about, I think has really paid off. It's for me, that's what it's really been about. And then it's been about just kind of fine-tuning some things. I've always been at my best when I've been able to time up from a rhythm standpoint, a balance, and really time up the routes with my drops. And I just think last year there was just so many moving pieces mentally and then personnel-wise. Being in the second year in the system has really allowed me to kind of relax and be that much more comfortable. And I think, just getting to know Matt and his style of play calling, I think this has been a really nice start to our second year together.
Yeah. Now, let's get into that a little bit more, because I'm sure you know, the narrative was that you in your second end of your decades in this league, with a new coach, you were a leopard with spots, and he's another guy that comes in, and that maybe it wouldn't mesh. What is the play calling that you now know a little bit more about? What about that relationship currently, Aaron?
Yeah, Rich, I think it's about the rhythm of it. I just, when I was with Mike for so many years, you could start to almost anticipate the calls and hear kind of the beginning of the calls, and you could finish them in your mind as he was saying them. And I think that's really been the biggest jump for me in comfort, is to start to hear the rhythm of the calls, anticipate what they're going to be, and then be able to finish them before he's done finishing them. That's when I mentally know I'm at a really good place. And it's different when you're in one system for 14 years, with similar language for 14 years, and a new one comes in. It just takes a little bit to kind of see the pictures in your mind. And I think this the end of last year, this off season, training camp really gave me the comfort that I could really start to see him in my mind and anticipate those calls. And then from a rhythm standpoint, I just really feel like all the conversations that we've had over the off season, a lot of them were myself and Matt and Nathaniel Hackett, our coordinator, and Luke Getsy, our quarterback coach, and a lot of it was kind of some philosophical things that was just fun to collaborate on, and just understanding his mind even more. These are just conversations that we couldn't have in the first year of the system because we're just trying so hard to get the system in, to meld anything from the previous system that I liked, and kind of get on the same page from a terminology. So this was a fun off season to really collaborate and be creative and just kind of see even more into his his philosophy and then how he likes calling plays.
Aaron Rodgers here on the Rich Eisen Show. A couple of narratives I want to throw at you here. You tell me if this is true, anything to it, because this is what we're all talking about out there, and what I'm sure you've heard. One about you and one about the guy you're facing coming up this week. The narrative that you, based on the way that your team drafted, have a monster chip on your shoulder this year, and the way that you've shown up the first 2 weeks, would support that theory and narrative. What do you say to that, Aaron Rodgers?
I think I've always found inspiration from various things, and as a younger player, even before I got in the league, there was a lot of slights that I felt about, the scouting of my performance and my abilities and who thought I could play and couldn't play. I think as I got older, you have to find new ways to be inspired by things. I think if anything, it's almost the opposite. I'm completely at peace with where I'm at in my career, and that's what's freed me up and allowed me to to get to this comfort level is the peace that sometimes surpasses even your own understanding. And I don't have bitterness towards the organization or Jordan or anything associated with that. I'm just I've been working on myself, and I think a lot of times when people see whether it's a narrative about my mental state or how I'm playing, it can't just be a positive thing. They have to say, well, it's a shot at somebody or a slight at somebody, or he's trying to it's an FU to somebody, or whatever it might be. In this situation, I really feel like it's just I've been choosing to work on myself during quarantine and COVID lockdown, and I feel really good about where I'm at. Matt and I have, we've had a friendship since the beginning. I think it's even grown during this off season. There's a lot of trust there, and we're in the second year of a system that guys are just playing a little bit faster, and we're finding ways to be more efficient. I mean, that doesn't maybe sell a lot of papers or get a lot of hits on the website, but to me that's closer to the truth than this idea of some monster chip.
So in terms of your receiving mates then, do they have one? Because the concept that you didn't get the help that was required because your if you will, successor was drafted, speaks to the fact that they're not good enough. Do they have that chip, Aaron?
I don't know, Rich. I mean, I think everybody has different ways of being motivated, and I think Alan Lazard has had plenty of chips he could put on that shoulder, whether it's Jacksonville trying to make him a tight end or us not letting him work with the green group for the first training camp, even though he was dominating on the other side of the field working against the 2s and 3s, or the fact that we cut him, or the fact that we put him on the active roster and didn't dress him, and the fact that maybe when we finally dressed him we didn't play him. So he's got plenty of things he can have chips about. Marquez, same thing. I think Marquez, his thing has always been about his own confidence, and the more confident that he is, the more he can just relax and not put too much pressure on himself, because I think he is such a talented guy. But I have a lot of trust in both of those guys, and obviously Devontae. Still need to see some more from some of the guys behind them, but I am proud of those guys, the way they've stepped up and the training camps they've had and how they've gotten off to good starts the first 2 games.
And then the narrative about the quarterback that's going to be across the field from you in Drew Brees. I'm sure you've heard it coming off that Monday night game. I've likened this. I don't believe in this narrative, I should say, just to start. But I've likened it on this show that he's like the Bernies at Weekend at Bernie's, that somebody's going to come out and prop him up and throw the ball down the field for him because he's basically dead based on the first 2 weeks of his performance. What do you say what you're hearing about what people are saying about Drew Brees coming into this matchup with you and Drew on Sunday night on NBC, Aaron?
Well, yeah, look, I haven't seen a whole lot what's been said. I don't spend a tremendous amount of my time getting into some of these narratives, but I will say that I definitely Wednesday there was some conversation about it. I think it's always a little bit dangerous to go after veteran Hall of Fame quarterbacks 2 weeks in the season. I think I said on Tuesday that I remember a few years ago when Brady got and the Patriots got beat up by the Chiefs, and everybody said, Brady's done, and it might be time to play Garoppolo, and this is the beginning of the end for those guys. And I think he won a few Super Bowls after that, and a lot of people ate some crow. So I think it's always a slippery slope to start going after veteran quarterbacks early in the season.
I bet. So is there any narratives about the media you want to throw at me, Aaron? It's fine. If you want to do that, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'll wait till we're offline, though.
All right. If you want to do that, that's all good. Hey, we've had Aaron Jones on here many times. I love this young man. I love this kid. He is just dynamite. I just think what he has turned into and what he's turning himself into has been amazing. What has it been from your perspective, Aaron?
It has been really, really special to watch. There's some guys who you just can't help but pull for because they do things the right way. And Jonesy is one of those guys. He is one of the greatest teammates that I've had in 16 years. He is the most respectful teammate possibly that we've ever had. I mean, he's still yes sir, no sir to so many people. Basically everybody older than him around the facility. Mm-hmm. He's such a great kid, and he is not jealous. Doesn't have any jealousy. He cheers for his teammates. He pulls for them. He blocks his ass off. He's obviously a great runner of the football. He can take it to the distance. He's worked hard on areas that he hasn't, that he's needed to improve on, whether it's route running, pass catching, blocking, understanding certain intricacies of the system. He's a great representation of organization in the community. I think he's made some mistakes. He's owned up to them, and he is, one of the greatest young players we've got in our locker room, and such a great kid. You can't help but pull for him, and just so proud of what he's accomplished. He adds so much to our team. He's such a dynamic player, and an even better person.
So in a couple minutes I have left with you, one football question, one pop culture. Football question, if you could wave a wand. I asked this of Belichick. I've asked this of everybody else at the top of the, if you will, flow chart in many different ways, players and coaches the last couple of weeks. If you could wave a wand and change a rule in the NFL, the Aaron Rodgers wand wave, and the rule would be what? If you could change one in the NFL.
That's a good question.
I love answers that start that way, Aaron. I really do. As a host of a show.
Great question, Rich.
Thank you, Aaron.
I don't know. I feel like that we've gone a little bit overboard on some of the player safety and taken out some of the collisions in the game that I felt like made the game a little bit different, and just I think it's the danger in the game that fans enjoy, because you are putting yourself at risk. Now, I'm not talking about coming out with head-hunting shots and wanting any of those. I just feel like we've gone a little bit overboard with what is deemed as blindside blocks. I think we've gone overboard on hitting of quarterbacks. Love taps in the helmet are 15 yards. I think there's some dirty plays that have gotten out of the league as far as guys going low on quarterbacks. But, I do think there are some of those plays, and I don't feel like I've gotten a ton of roughing the passer penalties over my years, but I'm definitely not usually bitching for ones, because I feel like, some of those hits are part of the game. And I think, we have taken out some of the dangerous head-hunting shots, but I think there's some that have gotten a little soft, in my opinion, that we might need to look at, especially some of these blindside. They're calling blindside blocks that maybe a lineman is making protecting the quarterback, or a receiver is making that. I don't know. I think we've gotten a little bit too far down the line on some of those.
Okay. What are you binge watching, or what did you? You mentioned during the quarantine, you said you were working on yourself. Outside of that, whenever you had spare time, binge watching what? What is Aaron Rodgers binge watching?
Well, I'm a big Ricky Gervais fan, so I binge watched Afterlife season 2.
Okay.
Then went back and watched 1 and 2 again. I'm on my second time through The Office.
The British version.
No, I love The British Office. I've seen that a few times through, but I'm back on The American Office again. I'm on season 7, second time through since March. I've got a lot of recommendations, but I don't have a lot of time. And
not now. Sure.
Yeah, and 22 minutes for an episode of The Office is pretty nice.
So what's your go-to Office episode? Aaron Rodgers, you say that this is it. If anybody wants to watch The Office, this is the one. That's your favorite. What do you got for me?
Oh, it's so hard. I think it's Michael and Jan host a dinner party when they invite over Jim and Pam and Angela and Andy, and then Dwight shows up with his babysitter. And the scene where Michael's talking about the plasma TV and how he can pull it away from the wall and push it back in is unbelievable. And then, spoiler alert, Jan, breaks it with one of his Dundies. There's just so much to the episode. It's so ridiculous. But that's got to be one of my all-time favorites for sure.
As you know, Bumgarner's a huge Packer fan. You make him happy, so I guess it's only right that what he did makes you happy. It's just a circle of life in that regard. Let me sneak this in. Do we see Davante Adams Sunday, Aaron? Is there any concern
I don't know. I wouldn't rule him out. I definitely wouldn't rule him out. He hasn't been practicing a whole lot, but I think if anybody can do it, it's him. I know he wants to, but we'll see how he's feeling tomorrow morning.
Okay, Aaron. Thank you for the call. What do you want me to ask Aaron Rodgers? You said before we let it go, Chris, about golfing or something like that.
Well, Brian Bumgarner.
Oh yeah, Brian said that.
Oh my God.
Something about golf and strokes and things of that nature. Aaron?
He's been telling everybody that he finally finished in the positive at Tahoe after all these years of battling Barkley for last place. He finally finished in the middle of the pack for the first time ever in Tahoe.
Okay. So that's. We'll read between those lines, Aaron. We'll read between those lines.
He broke 90 for 3 straight days. That's what he's cheering about.
He's high stepping. Aaron, thanks for the call. Always greatly appreciate it. Always enjoy our chats. You keep crushing it, and let's stay in touch down the line.
Likewise, buddy.
Right back at you. You got it. That's Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers.